During your third and fourth years of medical school, and for some people, even during your second year, you are switching rotations every single month. And with that comes a lot of stress in terms of anticipating what the next rotation is going to be like, what the people are going to be like, and all of these things. So today I wanted to talk about something that I have struggled with for the past year and a half and some of the things that have helped me through this. Because let's just be honest, it's a pretty difficult thing to be doing, switching rotations every single month. So I guess we can just get started with like my story. Like why do I get stressed out every time I have to change rotations? So I think part of it is that towards the end of the rotation that I'm currently on, I usually start feeling more valuable. I start feeling helpful. I start having friendships or the starts of friendships with people that I'm working with, and I start to really like them as individuals. And it makes starting a new rotation difficult because I don't want to leave. And part of that is that the next rotation, I don't know what the expectations of me will be. I don't quite know what my hours will be. I don't know what the people will be like. And it's just really hard to know what to expect until you're actually there. Even if you've heard things from other people, you still don't really know until you've experienced it yourself. So I think for me, it's just hard to know what to expect. I also sometimes notice it really depends on the rotation, but sometimes I'm like really included and sometimes I'm not. But the rotations where I'm really included are like especially hard to leave. It's like on some rotations, if I'm included in conversations, and like sometimes if somebody gets lunch for the group, if they ask me, which I never expect it, and it's always like I feel so lucky if like a rep considers me for lunch, or like if my attending or a resident gets me lunch, which I usually decline because I feel bad about that. But still, oftentimes it feels really special to be included, and I don't like leaving places where I feel included, because on some rotations I kind of stand on the outside, and in some sense you don't really want to be intruding on the day-to-day life of others, because this is their job, this is their life, and I just want to be respectful of them and respectful of their space. And I am lucky to be learning from them, and I just I want to be respectful of that, and with that comes getting left out a lot of the time, and feeling like there's no place for me. Some rotations I don't have a spot to put my things, so sometimes I really don't bring things. And other times I don't have a chair, which can be hard because I sort of have bad ankles that hurt at the end of the day. So that can be especially bothersome some days. And I just don't really know what to expect. I don't know if the attending is going to be really nice, which generally my attendings have been amazing, but like you just never know what to expect, because sometimes people are different. You just never know what you're going to get. And I think there's just a lot of anxiety for me that comes around starting something new and having new expectations. I mean, think about it. Like if you really think about it, it's not a job because you're not getting paid, but at the same time you're doing work that would get paid at some point. Because usually my notes are used to some extent. The things that I do are, but I also slow things down when I'm learning. So anyway, sort of a job, and you're starting something new every month, which is hard. Like, can you imagine starting a new job every month? That's just ridiculous. But that's how it is. So one thing that has sort of helped me through this, which I can't say I'm perfect, but I've tried to let go of expectations of my next rotation and my upcoming rotation. So my current rotation might be really good, and I place expectations on my next rotation to also be good, and then if it lets me down, then I'm disappointed. But if I just come into it with no expectations and just allowing it to be whatever rotation it is, it's just more helpful for me, because usually for every rotation there are really good points and there are some downsides. I mean, surgery, there were some good points and there were some downsides. Lots of downsides in that rotation, but there were some good points. I like doing some more hands-on things and that sort of thing. But anyway, letting go of expectations. I also have noticed that on rotations, I've tried to be a little bit less attached to things and people. So I noticed really early on during third year, I was sort of becoming friends with people. Like I was meeting people as though I would become friends with them eventually. And that becomes really hard as somebody who really likes to make friends and maintain friendships. The idea of not being able to actually maintain that friendship is very difficult for me. So I've noticed that it's more helpful for me if I just go into it just with no attachment whatsoever. I just meet people as though I'm just going, it's just, a person that I'm going to meet and spend a little bit of time with, and then that's going to be it. That helps me rather than like viewing it as I want to be everybody's friend. I do want to be everybody's friend, but at the same time, there's only so much time in every day. And that comes with a lot of effort in terms of asking a lot of questions about these people. And you know what I mean? Like having a different mentality of, being nice, being myself, but also recognizing that I'm probably not going to stay friends with this person, or we're friends. But you know what I mean? Like I'm probably not going to stay in communication with this person as much as I would like to, but just like kind of releasing that expectation of myself in a way. Another thing that's been helpful for me, this is like detaching myself from the relationship aspect, detaching myself from all of the good parts of the rotation and all of the bad parts of the rotation, just letting the rotation be what it is. Because at the end of the day, my next rotation could be a lot better than what I currently have, even if what I currently have is really good. Like I've had some rotations where I'm like, I couldn't possibly have a better rotation than this. And then the next rotation is even better. So you just never really know what it's going to be like. So I just try to like release attachments and release expectations. And that seems to help me a lot. Another thing is just like feeling the discomfort and the stress before starting a new rotation. It's usually the Sunday before that I start getting grumpy and anxious about the next day. A lot of the time I need to wake up really early to go get an ID from the hospital because they don't do IDs before the first day, and I want to make a good impression on the first day, so I need to have my ID or badge. Anyway, it's like this whole thing. So there's a lot of anxiety, especially with that first day, and also just not knowing what to expect, or meeting new people and whatever. So I just try to feel that discomfort Sunday before and just like feel it. This is hard. This is not normal. It's normal for this career, but this is a not normal thing for humans to go through. We weren't really built for this, but it is what it is. And it's okay to feel stressed, and it is okay to feel anxious, because starting a new job for most people is really anxiety provoking. And yeah, that's just what it is. And just, recognizing that you're going to do your best, and that's all that you can do, and you're going to put your best foot forward. You're going to be kind to everybody you meet, and that's just really all that you can do. So I found that could be helpful. Just, when I recognize oh, I'm stressed because this is actually hard, that makes me feel a little bit better. And also recognizing that stress can be helpful. So even if you are stressed, that's not really a bad thing, because stress can help you perform better, and stress can help you be focused, and stress can help you connect better with others. If you haven't read the book Upside of Stress by Dr. Kelly McGonigal, you should read that book. But yeah, stress can actually be helpful. But yeah, I hope that this is helpful to someone out there. I don't know. It's such a learning process. And even towards the end of fourth year, switching rotations every month is still hard for me. And it's still hard to meet new people and have to kind of say goodbye to the last team that I worked with. And it's just a hard season of life. And being the medical student that, is kind of the lowest person on the totem pole in a way, is kind of a hard position to be in, because you're unnecessary in a lot of ways, and that can be really hard. But it's just a season, it's just a phase, and then eventually we're going to be really, really helpful, and we already are helpful in our own little ways, but eventually things are going to look a lot different. And just kind of being present for this, because I eventually want to be that resident, and I want to be that attending that notices when the third year medical student doesn't have a chair and would be willing to give them my chair. I want to be that person who sees that that student is really cold, because I've had attendings and I've had residents who have been like, girl, you have goosebumps. Like, let's go get you a jacket. And sometimes as a medical student, you don't know where you can get jackets that you can wear in the OR. So you just don't really know where things are, and you don't even know how to get around in the hospital sometimes, especially like really early on. So it's always like so wonderful to me when other people do that. And I want to be that person who's going to do that for others eventually and make rotations for medical students better. But I guess in terms of this, it's hard, but it's a phase, and someday we're going to be the ones that can make this less anxiety provoking for others. And, you know, we can be that attending who emails the student ahead of time and is like, hey, here's what to expect, blah, 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 rather than the student reaching out, like, which is fine. Like, that's been what I have been instructed to do, is to reach out to wherever I'm going next in terms of where to go for the first day, orientation, et cetera, et cetera. But, you know, someday we can make it better for medical students, and that's really cool. So yeah, we'll get there. Just hang in there for now. I hope this is helpful. It's just really hard, but yeah, trying to detach a little bit, and just like let go of things has helped me a lot. And I hope it can help you too. So if you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, take care, guys.